Welcome again to our Centre for Human Awakening video blog. The thought that is with me at the moment from many people's inquiries, contemplations and questions is, and I paraphrase, how come when I'm applied to my spiritual practice or discipline, nothing is really happening. As a result, there's no outcome. It's just a routine. It's become a habit. It doesn't have spectacular results, this kind of thing. The question is, spiritual practice in relationship to attaining a spiritual insight, experience, or some desired outcome. You know, traditionally, and it's handed down to us now, there is a sense of striving or struggle in some incremental, hierarchical or journey-oriented form of spiritual exercise which takes you from some place to someplace else, or moves you from down to up, or from out to in. Some movement anyway. This is a good question. I'm glad that many people are asking it, are considering it, because perhaps what it draws our attention to is the futility of any adaptive, self-manipulative, self-improving practices in and of themselves without a basic acceptance of how you are and how you lead your life. No spiritual practice should, it doesn't need to, it's not helpful if it does, divorce you or separate you from your ordinary mundane existence. Now, whoever we are, however great, however happy, unhappy, insignificant, significant, we all have to do the same kinds of things. In the morning, there's a certain routine. There are certain tasks that are associated with directly the experience of being in physical form. You have a body. You, like all human beings, attend to that body in certain ways which are mandatory. The rest of your day will be spent in many ways in similar intended activities in order to support the body, the mind and the spirit. If you compartmentalize them as in some way different from your spiritual practice, and however you may create that schism or that dichotomy in your life, your spiritual practice can never be of benefit, not of any real benefit to you. It must be incorporated, must be associated, and it must, in effect, not be other. Now, how each of us does this is different according to circumstances, the way we live, the events that occur in our life, our individual situations, but the principle still holds. If you find yourself in intimate questioning, able to be aware that your spiritual practice is somehow up here, down there, over there, some other place, and that you return from it and forget it in time where it's no longer present, or it doesn't rest in a basic acceptance of yourself and your life conditions, I would not persist. I would cease, and I would find a way to start from the very basic preparation of authenticity, of realness, and that is, how can I work at accepting myself just as I am, the circumstances of my life just as they are, and embracing myself and my life as spiritual practice in and of itself. No adaptive, manipulative, improving regime of psychological, spiritual or psycho-spiritual exercise and practice is going to change your basic spiritual position, your psychological position even. You must become confluent with how things are. Change is a given. Change is bound to take place. You don't need to urge it. You don't need to exert personal power over it. It's a force that's present quite naturally in your life. Yield to it, open to it. But start from the place of basic acceptance. And when you start to look at what it is you don't accept, or how your spiritual and your human lives are somehow shredded into two different directions, you'll begin to see how other aspects of life, some details, some events, experiences, elements in your life itself, somehow don't adhere to the central thrust of what it is that's important to you. Consider these things, witness these things, bring awareness to these aspects of life. And if you find your spiritual practice is somehow divorced from your present reality, think again. It may be a different practice is called for. It may be a different attitude or way of practicing that practice is called for. Whichever it is, through your awareness, bring it back into confluence with your total life.